asking me what website to use, and I'm just gonna, do everything like I usually do. Is how I start my day. So once I come in, first thing I do is start my trading view chart, and the next thing I start is go to investing.com. So investing.co.uk.com.uk. Later, go to economic calendar, so I know what's going to happen in the coming week. So next week, that's what we're looking at. And the next thing I quickly go to is Bloomberg. I really want to know what's happening with US market, because that's the market that really affects the market conditions every time. So COVID-19 trials, ailments, going to raise questions about vaccine method. So you must have been hearing a lot of issues going around. I mean, there was a news in BBC that China is selling 45 £45 per vaccine shot in China. So and you must have heard a lot of vaccine trials from AstraZeneca and all those big companies has been, suspended, or, are not going as well as expected, because a lot of the way they're doing it is not according to WHO procedure. So that's why we're seeing, really whipsawed market this week. Next week, let's quickly jump on the news quickly. So next week, Monday, we do have a CNY GDP. This will be really important for stocks. The reason being is, China is the biggest, producer of all the, all the products of the world. So it's really important how the China GDP is doing. If that's good, then you might see stocks rising. And you might see some kind of a bullish momentum in stocks today, early hours of the morning. And then 13:45, we have ECB President Lagarde speaking. Then he's going to be keeping a close eye at this news, because she's going to be obviously talking about Brexit deal, and, how is it going and what the likely outcome would be. Plus, we'll be talking about, different kind of, the scenarios they will have to face if the corona cases keeps rising, as it's been rising all over Europe. So it's going to be quite important for her to see really what she's going to say. And then we do have a fairly slow week. Then we're going to jump on Wednesday. The important news, initial jobless claims. Again, this is a very important news for us. Again, it comes out every week Thursday, but it let us know about what's going to happen with how many jobs have been created and how many jobs have been lost in the market, not in the market, in US. So it really is important for us to really know, because if the job numbers are good, let's say initial jobless claims have dropped quite significantly, that's really good for dollar. Usually dollar climbs on that positive news, and if it's bad, then dollar usually plummets. So last week it was really bad because job numbers were quite high. So they were expecting 860k, jobless claims, but it came as 89k. So more people claimed for jobless allowance than they expected. So that actually saw dollar plummeting from the highest. That's why we saw dollar going down a bit. So that's our major news, guys, for next week. Quickly look at dollar right now. So DXY are closed on a let's go a longer time frame, be easier for us to see. So on a longer time frame, quickly we check in. So we can clearly see DXY on a longer time frame. After testing this 50 MA support level, it did go up quite strongly. Currently above a resistance level of 93.65. So as long as price is above this level, we could see DXY again retesting the highs of 93.82. It has been done. It has been doing it for quite a long time now. Since 2nd of October, the whole month has been trying to break this resistance level, but it hasn't been able to. So if this resistance does break, this will actually be a very strong sign for buyers to gain the market. So DXY could actually, once it breaks this level, we can clearly see last time when it did break this level, there was a massive, momentum upwards. It went all the way up to 94.969. So again, if this level breaks, we could see DXY rising as high as 94.69. So keeping a close eye how DXY reacts to this, resistance. So, overall, as long as price is below this resistance, we're looking to sell DXY. We're looking to sell dollar against other currencies such as GBPUSD, EURGBP, looking to sell USD, JPY, and those pairs. But as soon as this level breaks, guys, we're going to be keeping a close eye at DXY, because we could be getting to really, really strong uptrend for dollar. Dollar could be getting really massive strength. Plus, we are reaching, closer and closer to the elections, the US elections. So market will whipsaw quite strongly. So again, the volatility will be picking up in next few, about this week or end of this week, we will be seeing crazy volatility in the market, especially dollar, because of the elections. So keeping a close eye how dollar reacts to this resistance level of 93.82. We quickly look at GPSD right now. So GPSD, it's been really volatile past week. It's been moving 100 pips. It dropped, I think yesterday morning, it dropped around 12 something. It dropped around 100 pips in just one go. That was a massive 100 pip drop in one go. And that's, that's common in GP. GP does that. GP could move 100, 200 pips in a day without having any issues, guys. So you have seen it, for example, on 14th of October, around 10 in the morning, it moved all the way from 1.2903 to 1.3036. That's about 130, 140 pip movement in 4 hours, guys. So, from 10 to, I think, around 10 to 2, it moved 130 pips. Then it plummets all the way back, I think, in the same day, 14th. And then it lingered, and the next day it plummeted back to the lows of, the lows where it went up the previous day. So then it plummeted 130 pips back. So it can move about 100, 150, 160 pips a day. So overall, if I have to see what GP is doing right now, GP is actually lingering right now. It's not really doing anything. It's just ranging right now at the support level of 1.2902. You can clearly see that at this level GP is lingering, but if it does break this level, so it did previously did the same thing. If you recall, on 17th of September, as you can see, the linger around, and once this level broke, when this resist support level broke, it actually went all the way as low as 1.2698. So keeping a close eye how GP really reacts to the support level, because this support level breaks, we could see GP plummeting. Firstly, it could plummet as low as 1.2815, and if that level breaks, then we could see GP going as low as 1.2709. But if this level is strong enough, and GP does open on Monday morning, Sunday evening, when the market does open, and we see GP rising, first thing we need to see is GP breaking above this resistance level of 50 EMA, guys. As long as price is below the 50 EMA, we won't be sure that GP is actually strong enough to move up, because we can clearly see historically, every time price is below this level, it does drop quite strongly, quite significantly. Again, over here as well, on 13th October, when the price was below, it dropped. Then again on 15th October, when the price was below, it dropped. So for us to really enter the market as a buy, we need to see a break above this 50 EMA resistance, guys. Once the break happens above this 50 EMA resistance, then that would give us an indicator, that we could enter GBP as a buy. So keeping a close eye how GB really plays about. I mean, I'm just gonna go to short time frame, 15 minutes time frame. 15 minutes time frame, as again, that's the ranging I was talking about. The market is ranging. So this is the more, you can see more how it's ranging right now. So that's why it's ranging. So that's what the drop I was talking about that happened at 11:45 exactly. So it dropped all the way from 1.2962 to as low as 1.2860. It's about 100 pip drop in in less than 15 minutes. So that happened in 15 minutes, guys. So GP is really volatile. It can do some crazy moves, but again, it doesn't do that. This is not going to happen every day, of course. A 100 pip drop doesn't happen every day. Most of the time, it just moves about 30 to 40 pips up and down usually. So on a short time frame as well, price is well below this 50 EMA. Again, both in longer time frame and shorter time frame, we need to see GP breaking above this resistance level of 50 EMA, and for us to really see some kind of bullish candle, such as I would love to see something like this, guys. Something bearish as this. Once it breaks above, we see something bearish as this. Close a 15-minute candle as bearish as this would be a very strong sign for us to really enter the market as a buy. So keeping a close eye how GBPUSD really plays about next week, because it could be one of those pairs that could be one of the most volatile pairs in coming weeks, guys, as we get closer to elections and as we get closer to Brexit deal between UK and EU. So again, same thing. I'm gonna look at usually dollar and euro usually work quite same. They usually are doing the same thing. If dollar is dropping, then if euro is dropping, then GP is usually dropping. But sometimes they are quite different. So right, as in this case right now, so we can see GP is ranging, but dollar is trying to make some kind of momentum upwards. You can see that. It's trying to go up right now from the mini uptrend line here. You can clearly see that every time price reaches this level, is going up slowly but surely is going up. So again, as long as the price has been respected at this level, it will give us a strong sign for us to enter the market as a buy. But this will be a quick scalp, quick buy. Is not something that we're going to be looking to hold long term, because we can only get about let's say about 23 pips max or 25 pips maximum, because that's the resistance level we could see price dropping from. So again, if I were to enter the market, I would put my TP just below this 50 EMA resistance, because we clearly see that as long as price is below this resistance, it always drops. So there again, and when the price reaches this level, it might be a good signal for us to enter the market as a sell. But again, it won't provide us with any good to risk to reward. So I would just wait around. Once the price reaches this level, I would just wait for euro to really break up above this level, because once euro does break above this level, that could be a strong sign for us to enter the market as a buy. But again, we have to see how GP plays out. More importantly, how DXY plays out. If DXY keeps rising, then we will see euro and GP falling quite strongly downwards. But if DXY drops from there, and if it does drop from there, there's a quite heavy drop from there. It could drop 30-40 points, which is about which will move GBP about 70 to 80 pips, and EURUSD could move about 60 to 70 pips on that drop. So if euro drops from here, guys, it will drop very strongly, guys. It will drop all the way back to lows to 1.6073, and if it does rise from here, it could rise as high as 1.1831. So again, guys, quite in the middle, both present in the middle right now. As I said, as the price reaches, more closer to elections and more closer to Brexit deal, the market will become more volatile, and price will be lingering more. But when it does start moving, it's going to start moving really crazy. It'll be more news bound rather than technical bound, So we have to be keeping a close eye what's happening in the news at all times. All the Brexit news will affect GBP and euro pairs, and all the election news will affect USD pairs. So keeping a close eye how really this weak news affects the market. So again, another thing we quickly look at is gold right now. So gold is hasn't been moving, to be honest. This is the gold chart right now in a longer time frame. So since 13th of October, like last 4 days, I mean not last, about 2 days, 13th of October, it's just been lingering around, hasn't been really moving, going up and down, up and down. There is some kind of uptrend. We can clearly see the price is making higher highs, but this higher high was similar to previous higher highs, so we can't really call it a higher high. We will have to call it a ranging market. So right now gold is a ranging market, but again, as long as price is below the 50 MA on a short time frame. But as you know, we don't trade gold long term, so we look for short term entries. So on a short term as well, we can see gold is just lingering around this 1899, or you could say 1900 pivot level, pivot support level. So as long as prices at this level, we could be looking for some kind of a buying pressure here, guys. We do not expect gold to really drop below this level, because it did try to drop it back to lows of 1897 on 16th of October around 4 in the afternoon. But then we can clearly see after a massive strong downtrend, price did manage to pull back up and did go as high as 1903, then again dropping back to lows of 1899. So overall gold is bullish. We could see gold rising because, as more coronavirus cases start rising in the world, more issues with vaccines, all this will make investors rethink the strategy, and a lot of stocks which are really rising, such as Apple stocks, Amazon stocks, and Tesla stocks, will start dropping on this negative news. But then people will start be looking to buy, they'll be looking to invest their money in such as gold, silver, platinum, and all those pairs which doesn't lose value quite strongly. So we could see gold rising if the all of this negative news keeps affecting the market. This could give a rise to gold quite sharply, and we could see gold actually going as high as 2000, guys. Again, gold could go as 2000. It has been that high, so it won't be surprising for us by the end of this year, when as the election happens, we see gold actually breaking above 2000 level as it did earlier this year. So that's our analysis, guys, for all the major pairs this week. We're just going to talk about how COVID-19 lockdown according England will be affecting the market. So let's quickly look at GBPUSD. So let's see what happened last week. So GP last week, when they announced lockdown in, I think, UK, some parts of you, when Boris Johnson came live and he talked about on his Downing Street and talked about the kind of lockdown, he's talking about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. That was a really bearish news. So we see GBPUSD dropping quite strongly, and that was the level it did reach, at least as low as 1.286. So that was, I think, he started his his press conference, and since then GP started plummeting and went as low as 1.2858. Then early that morning, then around 7:45 on 16th of October, what happened is there was a news of Boris Johnson saying that there could be a possibility of a really good deal with EU, and on that positive news, that gave us a quite strong sentiment for investors, and we saw GP rising. But then again, there was a news of more lockdown. London could go lockdown to tier 3, and as soon as that news came out, we saw GP plummeting, and since then it's just been going lingering around up and down, up and down, up and down. So we have to clearly see how this lockdown is going to affect, because if there's a full lockdown as they've been planning, you might have heard that Labour leader is asking for a circuit breaker, or basically is asking for like a full lockdown for at least for a month, so everything calms down. But if that happens in London, guys, a lot investors won't be keen to really invest in GBP. They would most likely will sell GP in loads, because they would not want to hold any pair of GP, because all the companies will be nearly shut. So they really don't want to buy stock of a company which is not working. So they don't need to buy GP to buy the stock. So they will start selling the stock. They'll start selling GP, and they'll be moving towards more of a safe haven countries such as JPY, gold, or dollar. So if the lockdowns does happen in London, guys, in coming days, we'll be seeing really crazy, really crazy sell pressure in GP, and if that happens, guys, so it would give us a good opportunity for us to get into pullbacks, because GP does have massive pullbacks. If it drops 100 pips, it pullbacks about 30-40 pips as well at the same time. So that would be a good opportunity for us to get into pullback trading rather than a trend trading, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. If you have any more questions, please do let me know now, or this video will be recorded, so you can always go on our YouTube channel, rewatch it. And if you have any questions afterwards, you can type in the comments, or you can always message us back on our WhatsApp chat for us to really help you out with any questions you have. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.